Hello, my name is Sean, and welcome to my study. Glad you could join me here today. Just by way of introduction, I am a Christian, a pastor, and a lover of good literature. And that's really what we're going to be talking about as we take these sessions in the study together. Uh, I love reading. I have since I was little, and uh, I have wanted for some time to have an outlet to kind of share my love of literature, uh, and I felt that this was a good way to do it. And like I said, I am a Christian. Uh, we won't exclusively be looking at Christian literature, although most of what we're going to be looking at is going to have some kind of Christian theme, some kind of Christian message. So just so you know where we're going with that. But like I said, my desire is to just share things that I'm enjoying in my own reading with you, and so I hope you'll enjoy this. I want to provide something that you can watch and enjoy, and something that's wholesome and hopefully beneficial, and that's a blessing to you. And that's really what I want to do here. There's so much out there that's just junk today, that I want to contribute something that I think will be beneficial and enjoyable. So thank you for joining me for that. Recently, I've been diving into poetry. I have a great love for poetry, and I have since basically since I was in high school. But it's one of those things where perhaps you get into fits or moods where you dive into something and you're really into it, and then a couple of years go by and you don't touch it, and then the desire for it strikes again, and the kind of a spark goes off, and you're like, yeah, I really want to get back into that. And that's kind of what it's been for me. So I have been voraciously devouring poetry, and particularly what I've been doing is I have this anthology that I bought from a library sale, Masterpieces of Religious Verse. And it's an anthology again of religious verse. Most of it is Christian poetry, not all of it, but most of it is. And what I've been doing is, as I've been going through this anthology, I have been cataloging my own favorites, which this particular anthology has a helpful section near the back of personal index that you can write in, and I've been writing in my own favorites as I've been going through in my own sloppy handwriting. But just I've been going through cataloging my own ones that have really been speaking to me, and now I just kind of want to share some of those with you right now. And we will be covering different things, not always poetry. Like I said, I enjoy reading a lot of different kinds of literature. I enjoy Tolkien. I enjoy C.S. Lewis. I enjoy again just a lot of different things. So we'll be diving into some of that as well here. So I hope you'll stick around for that. But for today, I wanted to start with a poem that I have particularly enjoyed. So this is entry number 12 in the book. And this is a poem entitled The World by Richard Realf. Richard Realf, interesting last name. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Lived from 1834 to 1878. And the theme of the poem is how God reveals himself in the world, or reveals himself in nature. And there's a lot of poetry on that subject. There's a lot of poetry just in this book that talks about that. But the reason I have kind of put this one apart from all the others is it has a conciseness and an almost musical quality to it that kind of sets itself apart. And Richard Realf himself was an interesting guy. very adventurous, and dealt with depression a lot. But his kind of emotional way of looking at things really speaks in his poetry. So I wanted to dive into this with you today, and hopefully you'll come to appreciate it as I have. So, The World by Richard Realf. O earth, thou hast not any wind that blows, which is not music. Every weed of thine, pressed rightly, flows in aromatic wine. And every humble hedgerow flower that grows, and every little brown bird that doth sing, hath something greater than itself, and bears a living word to every living thing, albeit it holds the message unawares. All shapes and sounds have something which is not of them. A spirit broods amid the grass. Vague outlines of the everlasting thought lie in the melting shadows as they pass. The touch of an eternal presence thrills the fringes of the sunsets and the hills. And that's just beautiful. From the very start, it really sets his poetry apart from others, just in the way that he describes it. O earth, thou hast not any wind that blows which is not music. That's wonderful. That you can hear the wind and hear the music of God in it and through it. And even the weeds, if they're pressed rightly, if they're understood, if nature, even its basest and lowest forms, if it's understood rightly, he says it flows in aromatic wine. It's almost this intoxicating effect upon the soul. And things so humble as hedgerow flowers and brown birds, they bear a living word to every living thing. I love that line, a living word to every living thing. That God speaks and reveals himself in the smallest matters, smallest parts of nature. It's great. And then that last line, I love this so much. The touch of an eternal presence thrills the fringes of the sunsets and the hills. That when you're looking out on a beautiful sunset, maybe as it's going down past the rolling hills, you can see God's beauty and grandeur in that. And the touch of eternity and eternal presence. God speaking through that. And I think this poem really speaks to our distracted age. We're so busy. We're so attached to our devices, our phones, our whatever it might be, that we so often lose touch of that eternal presence that is revealed in the beauty of nature. So today, maybe as you're musing on this poem, you can look this poem up, I'm sure, and you can go out and see the beautiful sunset and see the grandeur of God behind that. I would think that would be a good thing to do. Something I've done myself, and I enjoy this poem, and I enjoy meditating on it. And I think I'm going to memorize it at some point, because he captures in such a succinct manner, in such a picturesque way, how God reveals himself in the beauties of nature, and I really love that. So I appreciate you spending time with me today. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And I'm sure as time goes on, we'll have more times in the study together, and taking in this wonderful literature and this how God even reveals himself in that. And I appreciate you enjoying this with me. And may God bless you today. Thank you.